this language is a language of fighting, is a language of resistance, is a language of history, is a language of independence. Speaking this language not only about having a way to communicate, but it's also speaking about them, about ourselves, because this is our identity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Creole Narratives Podcast. I'm your host, Fadia Patterson. This is a space where we amplify IET and share the rich history and stories of the Haitian diaspora. I'm so excited to have our guest join us today from Indiana. His name is Websder Corneille. He is an ESL teacher, English as a second language educator in Indiana, and he is also the founder of the Haitian Creole Culture and Language program, which he founded last year. Websder, thank you for joining us today on the Creole Narratives Podcast. Thank you again. How are you?
Thank you, Fadia. I am glad being here today. I'm a listener, I'm a fan, and hi to everyone. So our listeners, Creole Narratives listeners, I enjoy being here. I gotta tell you this, and enjoy meeting you too. And you're doing an amazing job promoting Haiti's culture, history, and the events, recent events too.
Well, thank you. Thank you for reaching out to share your interest in being a part of the podcast. So I am thrilled to have someone all the way from Indiana. And for folks who don't know, there is a huge population, a Haitian diaspora in Indiana. Specifically, you are in Indianapolis, correct?
Exact. Indianapolis, the capital of Indiana, and actually, and the estimation is around 30,000 of Haitian living in Indianapolis. And effectively the Marion County, which is the biggest county, and it's really a diverse place. There's a growing Haitian population, as you said. But Haitians are located all over Indiana, in Washington, in Louisville, Evansville, but Indianapolis, since it's the main city, and you find most of the Haitian population here.
All right. And you have a career working with children. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, here I've been working with children, and not only Haitian children, but with children because I work at an elementary school as an ESL interventionist, English as a second language interventionist. And I am working also as a family liaison, working with the Haitian families. It's a wonderful school. The name is Promise Prep. And I gotta tell you this year I was voted Super Staff of the Year by my colleagues at school. Yeah, it was really amazing. And we have maybe, like, if I can guess, it's maybe 15% of the population, student population is and Haitians. So I am in contact with them, and they are really amazing. And most of them were born in South America, and they don't really have a high level proficiency in Haitian Creole, but they do understand Haitian Creole. I remember the first day I came there, and I was in the hallway. I said, "Come on, yeah," and they were so happy. They they were screaming to hear Haitian Creole from someone, and also like they can identify so quickly with him because I look like him, of course, and I speak their language. And you know what does that mean? Like when you feel the sense of belonging, you see someone to relate to, and language is this mark of identity that sometimes we are looking for. It's a very really good experience, and I don't want to leave them. And I enjoy the place. I enjoy the place. The kids are really amazing. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the migration patterns of Haitians throughout the recent years? And you mentioned that a lot of your kids were not even born in Haiti, so they speak multiple languages.
Yes. Exactly. It's something really amazing, like for these kids, because for some of them, their primary languages might be Portuguese, Spanish, and actually they are at school, and not only my school, because I am in search with some other like ESL interventionist Haitian Creole in other schools, and those children speak Portuguese, Spanish, Haitian Creole, and English like their primary languages. And what is even more interesting, some of them were born, for example, in Brazil, but because they are in a environment where like the majority of the students are Spanish students. They learn Spanish while being at school. Some of them also learn Spanish at the border of Mexico, like spending a little time in Mexico. And they are proficient, high level proficiency in all of four languages. That's really
Wow.
interesting. And sometimes I am jealous, to be honest, because I'm trying to talk to them. And also like they can tell you stories about the other countries because it's a very, very, very important thing actually. And I was talking to some Haitian parents to encourage them so help the kids to preserve this part of identity because it's very important today to grow up as a bilingual student or bilingual person that can open many doors. But also like the Haitian families, so because a lot of Haitians here speak Spanish, that's a really good thing too. And because they've been spending a little time in South America, they help the kids with education, and I can say, speaking about my school, the Haitians are making great progress, and also they have success at school. It's like you can see the progress like compared to some other students. I don't want to name any ethnicity, but compared to other students, you can see the progress after 1 month, after 2 months, and the way like in Haitian culture, the way families are involved in the education of their children. That's really interesting because for me, we created a kind of WhatsApp group, so stay in touch with the family when we have some messages, when you have announcements, so to share with them. We have this group sometimes when they have complaints about something, also something that maybe like can relate to everyone. It's a really amazing experience for me because as a Haitian and working in this environment where you can support and your fellow Haitians with language proficiency. And it's like you have a meaning in your work. You wake up every day, you know you're gonna be happy. And because you're gonna have some kids, even I'm trying to speak English with them at school, they're always answering in Haitian Creole. You see, they like to preserve this part of identity. So it's just very amazing, a very amazing experience. And also like I understand like how hard it is because I've been talking to some Haitian American. They don't speak Haitian Creole. It's kind of trauma for them. And I've been talking to some of them the last few weeks, and I listened to their stories, and they'd like to speak Haitian Creole, not only for job, not only because they want to be part of this community. And language is a real barrier because when you can't, sometimes for some of them, they can't talk to some members of the families, and that create a little distance. It's a
Yeah,
very amazing experience. Yes.
language is a huge part of culture. That's a huge slice of your entire culture. It's your language, your food, your dance. It's all encompassing, and language is a huge part of that. So I get it.
You're right. And also given the fact the creation of the Creole language, because it's not a language like some people wake up a day and say, okay, we're gonna create a language like an artifact. No, it's a language, it's a result of the battle, of the Vertier battle, of the independence. Because this language and for like workers, this language was created around 17th or 18th century. And it's a result of the some people like coming from different ethnicities, different countries. They are finding themselves in a place and they would like to find a way of communication. They would like to create a medium, so this medium is kind of representation of people from Benin, of people from West and South Africa, people from the Caribbean, because this language is a kind of métissage. It's a kind of a result of this battle and a result of also of the great migration, this migration, because they did not choose to come here to travel like miles away to a different place. They are finding themselves historically here. By chance, they could have gone somewhere else by chance, and they are. fighting, they are giving themselves to find a way to connect. And this language is a language of fighting, is a language of resistance, is a language of history, is a language of independence. And that's the reason, like, even for these kids, even for us, speaking this language, that's only about having a way to communicate, but it's also speaking about them, about ourselves, because this is our identity. This is part of very important part of our like nation, the creation of the nation. I don't.
I definitely hear it. I hear the mixture of the different languages from the different culture when I'm speaking Creole, because I know when I say let in Creole, in Spanish it's leche. So,
Yes.
you see the mixture of the different cultures, and that's maintained over generations. So I think that's amazing. But, we were talking about migration patterns. I think in the past, we have Haitians who live all over the globe. I have family in Germany, I have family in Canada, in France, Dominican Republic, everywhere. But as of late, you mentioned that a lot of Haitians are now migrating to South America. And I think in part that had to do with the visas that were being offered from the last Olympics that were being held in Brazil. So I know a lot of Haitians got work visas to come to Brazil, and they stayed behind. And is that how a lot of these kids or families learned Spanish?
Exactly. And also, like, besides of that, we can say after the earthquake, some of these countries like opened their borders, offered visas to Haitians, and they left the country, like as you said, around 2014, when it was the World Cup in Brazil, when Brazil and held the World Cup, but also right after the earthquake, like some countries like Argentina, like Brazil, like Chile, like, and it's kind of opened their borders to receive and our fellow Haitians. And also, as you know, because we don't have a specific idea about the amount of people living abroad in South America, actually, but we can guess maybe there are like, I think I heard some once around 7 to 800,000, and they create a community. They are involved in daily lives in school, and we have teachers in South America. I have so many friends that are doing their doctorate, or even their graduate studies there. So they've been involved in this part of the Americas. And also, given the situation, like the last decades, change things have changed also in South America. Like, how it is as an immigrant. If I am looking for a better situation, like in a place, once I realize this place cannot giving me the what I'm looking for, the first idea is to move to a different place, which is okay because this is not my place. I was there because I was looking for a better life. If I realize that it's not happening, I'm about to move to a different place. I think we can understand the fact that they are leaving South America. Those fellows are leaving South America actually to come to North America, Canada, US, and also like the Midwest, and historically, which wasn't a kind of a great place with immigrants. Because I don't know if you remember, like in a series like Scandal, they usually see Midwest or Indiana as a Pioneer, un zona dio. So it wasn't one of the big cities like Florida, like Miami, like Chicago, like so where migrants go. And but like given the situation, actually, like how we create community, maybe uh, around 2019, some of them arrived here, and like from and they heard like the situation, it wasn't bad here because of housing is not really bad, the price of housing, the cost of housing, and job also. There was a lot of job here, so they come here, they choose a different way, and they avoid a little bit those big cities to come to Midwest like Ohio, like in Iowa, like Indiana, because those states are about 6 million to 10 million people, like not very crowded. And they chose Indiana, and today we have a great community here, and most of them people who were living outside of Haiti before and in South America. But also we have other people like me, like who live in Haiti. But we do have the if you can guess, if you can frame and the community here, because the community, the majority of the people are living in the east side of Indianapolis. If you can frame the community, you can say like a large percentage of the population and was living in South America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I know that Brazil had the work visas for the World Cup. So when those visas expired, they couldn't stay. So they had to move on or go back to Haiti. And of course, Haiti has a lot going on right now, especially within the last decade. So a lot of them did not have the option to go back. So it's understood how that migration evolved, and they ended up moving to other places such as Indiana. But Indiana, as you mentioned, I'm sure is probably a culture shock for these folks.
Yeah, I think so. Before our conversation, I was watching kind of in the news the diversity here in Marion County, which is the biggest county, and to say that not complain to be honest, but like changing even for us. If we are like Haitian, I've been in the northern part of Haiti my whole life. Then I moved to Port-au-Prince, which is the west side of Haiti in 2009. It was a shock sometimes because it's a different place. Like people like in my hometown, we are very, very kind, very in Port-au-Prince, like, it's a little bit different. And that I can realize that even for us, if we are living in a place for like 10, 20, 25 years, and suddenly we realize there's a change. A lot of people, like, and like sometimes for some communities they don't have, so they tend to have, or they tend to be conservative. They don't want to up in their places. So more people, like, and I think it's a shock for some of them. And also, like, to be honest, even like for Indiana, not everywhere in Indiana you will find immigrants. Like there are some places like Indianapolis, which is the biggest city, which is a diverse place, but there are some places, because in Indiana used to have KKK. We know that.
Yeah.
So if you and that means like some places until now and are not very welcoming for some immigrants like me. That's the reason, like, and in some people tend to go where you already have encounters or where you already have friends, because you are less or even more protected here. And you know more than I do the complex nature of immigration in the U.S. So
Yeah,
you
it
know
is.
that
It
more
is
than
very
anything.
complex for sure. There's always been a different language dynamic, especially within my family. We've had people speaking Spanish, Haitian, English. I remember speaking English to my grandmother, and she would talk back to me in Creole, or someone else would talk Spanish to another person, and the other person would respond in French or Creole. What is that
Yeah.
dynamic like
Okay.
now
Okay.
today with all these different migrations and in what you've seen in your work?
Yeah. Exactly. It's not complex, but when you go sometimes to some household, like you can hear Portuguese, Spanish, Haitian, Creole, and English at the same times. For example, like people like who used to live in Brazil, most of them speak Spanish too. They speak Spanish, and because they are in the U.S., because they have kids or they are in contact with English speakers, we hear like some English words, a lot of English words in the house. For example, I'm gonna take an example. You can hear maybe the mom or dad or someone in the house, like, and says a word in Portuguese, and another one responds in Spanish, or the kid English, because what I understand for the kids, they want to learn English. That's something very important. They want to learn English, and they don't really answer their parents in Portuguese or Spanish because they want to learn English. And also, what I understand, though some of those parents are learning English from their kids too, because their kids are able to go to school, to receive a formal education, and so many times those parents maybe are spending most of their time working or outside of a place, instructional place. They are able to learn to grasp some English from their kids. I got example in my family, yes, where the kid is a kind of medium for the family to learn the language, to pick English language. I was talking so because we have a Haitian Creole language and culture program. We have some Haitian American enrolled in our classes. One of them was talking about it. She said that she was kind of the teacher, the private teacher for her family. That's the reason like she ended up not speaking Haitian Creole actually. Because and the family always was trying to speak English, and she was the one proficient because she was born here. She was born here. She was the one proficient in the language. She can't be and she can't avoid talking to her mom, her dad in English because they want to learn from her. That's a really interesting thing. But of course, it's a kind of trauma sometimes because these kids growing up realize that they lose a part of themselves and they want it so kind of retake it, grab it. And some of them they think it's a little bit too late, but we are trying to encourage them.
So I want to discuss the cultural aspect of your job. And you serve as a liaison in your field right now. How are you serving as a liaison for parents and children of Haitian descent in Indiana?
Okay. For example, like because I'm in touch with the families, and for example, there are so many things besides the language barriers. There are so many things that we can consider as a barriers here. The culture, like laws, and because about the culture, for example, or even for education, in a Haitian context, we used to rely on physical traits to correct the children when they don't have good grades. I say correct because that's the way we see it in Haiti.
It's
Like correct.
discipline. It's discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Yes, discipline. This is something that's very important. Like we're trying to kind of doing not a professional days, but trying to explain to them this is what you need to understand here about the education system, about kids, and also about laws. Because being a family liaison is not only about school; it's also about culture, like the way a kids might react, and the teacher could reach out to me to say, "How do you understand that?" Because the kids did that thing or reacted that way. I wanted to understand that, and I have to kind of doing kind of the bridge between the teacher and the student, the teacher and the student, the school and the families. Because sometimes, for example, like for a Haitian kid, if we are talking to him, the kids tend to bow down, which is like not the way in Haitian culture. Like the kid gonna look at you right in your eyes. Or for example, something about personal space. And someone reached out to me last year to ask me to address with the kids what personal space means for the culture. But in Haitian culture, it's not something that we spend so we spend so much time on it because it's and sometimes people like for some people there's high there's a way they frame it like about low context and high context, low context and a high context. For us, it's really sometimes about like when we see someone, we greet someone, we hug that person. Or for a kid, the kid tends to hug you, which is different like sometimes in the American culture. And I had to address the personal space with the Haitian families. It was a really hard conversation because I wanted them to understand. I know this is not maybe it's not very important for you, for us in our culture, but we are living here, and our kids, your kids, go to a U.S. school, and these are some principles like rules that we need to apply for them, even for you and for me. It's not something very important when you're talking to the kids, but even for me at school, I apply the personal space rule because I want them to learn it from me, even we are Haitians, because I want them to learn it from me, because I know for some people that's something very, very important, even for a kid. Like those aspects, cultural aspects, are very, very important. And that's the reason, like, sometimes we encourage teachers who are working in a kind of and multicultural context or settings to have a cultural competency, so have to develop cultural awareness, because that's something very important when you're working with people from different backgrounds or different countries, different culture, or people like from high context or low context culture. That's something very important to have a cultural competency. When to act in a certain way and when you can't, because that can be misinterpreted. Yes.
Indeed. And, with your Haitian Creole culture and language program, I know that you're teaching the language, um, and you said you're teaching the culture now virtually. So it's available not just to folks in Indiana, but they can get on the class from all over the country.
Yes, exactly. It's both a hybrid program. We have a class in Indiana and also online, and we have people taking classes in Australia and the UK. Like it's a very amazing situation, because with this program, like, we are able to teach the language, but also to increase people's understanding of the culture and of us, because that's something really important. Like, for example, we have a class for kids. We are teaching them, like, we are learning together, like, songs like Buki by Tonton Buki, Tonton Buki, Wabdomi, because that's something very important. Like, when when you see it as a folk tale, it's so simple, but it's part of the Haitian identity. Like, to know about Totombuki, you can't go somewhere and not able to talk about Totombuki, talk about Malice, talk about yes, exactly. So those things are very important. Even like for the with this program, we are able to dig deeper in the language and also in the culture, to learn about the culture. Yes.
Well, we are running out of time, so if we can close up, I'd like to, if we could close out, this is very timely what you're doing right now with this Creole and culture program. Where do you see it going in the next few years, especially with more and more Haitians now living in the U.S.? We don't know what's to come, and Haiti is still in a state of emergency. How would you like to see this program grow and further benefit not only the Haitian community, but Americans that are living, coinciding, and living in the same space with Haitian immigrants?
You're right. Because it's not only a program about language. It is our flagship program is language, but also it's a program about culture. For example, we are thinking about traveling exhibitions, because someone like William Scott, he's a Hoosier. That's the way we call resident from Indiana, Hoosier. And I realized in the Encyclopedia of Indianapolis, Williams was the one started the primitive movement in paintings in Haiti. I reached out to the Center of Arts in Haiti to let them know this is someone that we should know, like, maybe doing kind of exhibitions, because that's those things are very important, not only about the language, doing exhibition, discussion. We already have some discussion about Haiti's contribution to Black sovereignty. We have discussions. And I think we can create those kind of screenings to have, yeah, to foster understanding about both cultures, both communities.
How can people connect with you if they are interested in the Haitian culture and language?
Okay, they can go on social media because we have pages on Facebook, Twitter, X actually, Instagram, LinkedIn. And they can also reach out to me personally at 317-400-1272, or even at my email, personal email, Websder Corneille at gmail.com. They can reach out to me personally. But also we are really, really available. We also have we're gonna launch in maybe like in 1 or 2 months kind of platform, website, and we'll be available everywhere. We also have brochures, like we'll be available everywhere if people would like to connect with us.
And for those who are curious, do you think Creole is difficult to learn?
As a linguist, I can't say that because it's a language. Like I can't say like a language. It's not scientific. Because even like some people like used to say our structure, because the structure of Creole, English, Spanish is SVO, subject, verb, object. That's the same structure. Like in English we said I am a teacher. In Spanish we said yo soy or soy un profesor. And in Haitian Creole, we said, moi c'est un professeur. And in French, we said, je suis un professeur. That's the same structure. Like someone proficient, like maybe in French, or because Haitian Creole, like you said before, is a kind of uh, it's a kind of combination of Spanish, French, English. It's a and Arabic, Taino language. It's a lot of language together. Like if you are proficient in those languages, that might create a. I think that might be a good start for you to learn the language. It might be much easier for you if you're already proficient in this type of language because that's the same structure. But when I said I'm a linguist, I can't say that because I don't want to say that those languages which are Indo-European roots, because that's the way we say it in linguistics. I don't want to say those languages are easier to learn compared to other languages like Japanese, like Chinese. That's the reason I don't say that, because ling- Haitian Creole language is a language, then it's a foreign language. If you're learning it, you that's the same thing for any language. You spend time. We are full core proficient, and we have listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Those are very important for any languages. As you know, speaking and listening are the most important, because someone might not know how to read or might not know how to write, but if you can speak and listen, that's the most important, I think. And what I realize is I'm also learning English and also learning Spanish. That's the same process. Take your time, learn the language, give yourself a chance, a pass, because you're not being proficient in 1 month. Even we have some books which say that learning English is 90 days. It's good. You can learn so much in 90 days. You can learn so much in 1 month. That's that's true. But also, like, it's a language. I don't think a language is much easier to learn compared to another one. But I also understand, given the structure of these languages like English, Spanish, French, and Haitian Creole, like that means that you are prepared to a type of structure which is the same, that might help you a little bit. Like, yeah, because it's subject, SVO, subject, verb, object. That's the same structure.
We talked about sharing culture earlier and passing it on to these kids. How does it feel to be in your position and to be in that role where you can help these kids who haven't been in touch with their culture learn a little bit more about it and be that much closer to it?
On a personal level, it's a very, very great opportunity, because you are able to kind of being a role model, if I can say that way, because they look at you every day. And the families also, that's something very important, like the level of respect they put into you, the families, like, you know the type of relationship Haitian families have with professors, like, And I don't remember if you are, I don't know if you have heard from that sentence, like at school, the professor replace your parents. Like that means that in Haiti we learn that à l'école le professeur remplace les parents. That's the way they say it in French. That means that you are being a kind of extension of the family. And if you are able to guide these kids, it's a rewarding job. I'm gonna take just one example. There's a kid, she was born in Brazil, and I was talking to her. She's a rising fifth grade, and I asked her, "Have you been to Haiti?" She said, "Yeah, I've been to the Dominican Republic twice." I said, "Oh my God, okay." I take a little time. So I breathe to explain to her, yes, back in the days, the island was unified. But since 1804, and we are now two countries, two different countries. It's this type of situation you are able to not only has the torch, not sharing messages, but it is also influence the way of seeing things. I did not talk about the conflicts between Haiti and the Dominican Republic. That's not something very important for me for a fifth grade. So we who are learning the language, who are learning about the history of the island, so know first. Maybe I don't know when she is seven or eighth grade, but for now, I took the time to explain to her to give her a little insights about history, about the countries, about how they are different in terms of ethnicities. And in this situation, you're finding yourself in a situation where you are able to not control, but a little bit guide. And also, if you, and I was thinking so much about ethic last year because that's the first time I used to work with kids in Haiti, but not as a full time teacher. I used to do kind of project, maybe 1 or 2 months, but now you are able every day. So you witness like some kids, they are coming to you for everything if they don't understand, and you are able to kind of guide them through. That's a rewarding job. For example, like last year, I was in October. I asked the principal because October is considered as an international month for Creoles. And when I say Creoles, because not Haitian Creole, all Creoles around the world. Even the Haitian Creole is the most spoken Creole of all, but it's not the only one. I asked the principal on October 28th, but actually it was a Saturday, but October 27th. So read the and pledge of allegiance in Haitian Creole because we do that every morning. And the kids were so happy to hear that. And what I did before I translated the document and sent it to the teachers, and they kind of and showcasing it on a board and they can see it. The kids were so happy to hear the Pledge of Allegiance in Haitian Creole for the first time. That was so interesting. And also during the Haitian Flag Day, and I asked the schools to do a kind of wax museum, kind of, and with some historical figures like Dessalines, like Toussaint, and we will do a little museum because the fact is, those kids aren't able to go to Haiti at this specific time, but they should be able to find the culture coming to them. And I think with such initiative, it's a way to kind of promoting, of course, Haiti's culture, but also kind of integrating these kids into their culture, their roots. And also we celebrate the Flag Day with a little parade. It's not a big parade, but I took a little time to explain to them in Haiti, that's the way we celebrate the Haitian Flag Day. We were doing a little parade. They were so happy. Even with the families, they bought flags, they bought everything because you can see pictures, some pictures, and we were working on a little video. They were so happy. Like when it comes to flag days, everybody's on red and blue. Like, they were dressed up, red and blue. Everybody was so happy. Just this type of little initiatives kind of my part of being at school or being an ESL interventionist, this is my part of giving what I understand might be important for these kids to learn. I know a lot of things happening actually in the country. They might learn that from their parents at home, but also the school should be another place to learn from their culture, their history, their identity. And if they are satisfied, if they are okay with that, I am happy. I remember like when I received the kind of support staff of the year award, and I was talking to three of them. They are third to fourth grade, and I said, "Do you think I deserve that?" They said, "Yeah, I deserve that because we learned the country from you." It was so happy. I was so happy to hear that, to be honest, because they are the way. They are actually the ones to validate my work. If they are not satisfied, if my relationship, I have a great relationship with every one of them. If my relationship with them are not great, I don't think I can do the job. I don't think the job was performed very well because
Of
they are
course.
the first one to witness it and to feel the sense of belonging that I want to create or to increase in them.
So it was
That's
your colleagues who voted for you as support staff of the year.
yes, my
Amazing.
colleagues. Thank
Well,
you.
I mean, I think it shows that they appreciate the work that you do. I think it definitely shows they appreciate the work that you do. And again, like you said, it validates what you're doing for that community. And also, it validates that there is a need that you're fulfilling.
Exactly. Does the need, and also like I used to say, it's just sometimes you found yourself in a place, and you have to do not only do the work, but also you have to be a model for like maybe like for the kids, for these kids, or for parents. So because we have a really good relationship with parents, actually, like very really good relationship, and I thank them at the end of the school year. I said that I sent a message to thank everyone because they make the job easier for me. I sometimes reach out so them maybe twice a week to let them know, okay, there's something happening at school with the kids. Does never complain about like, okay, my kids this, my kids that. They always listening, and also it's I always find not the perfect way, but I say a good way to share to convey the message because it's about communication. So like you can't go because you are at this position of a kind of a teacher and you think you can't talk so you can talk to them like the way you want. No, just respect, a lot of respect. And I think that helps us, them, that helps me and a lot. And I think they are happy too. They were like kind of congratulate me for the award. I didn't share it with them. I didn't want to do that. But one of them, because the school sent a kind of newsletter and with the award, and they found my name, and it was so very nice word. I can say that I am fortunate, so I have very nice group. But as you know, like not every day is nice. Of course, we have some times, and it's kind of leadership. It's kind of a way to develop my leadership skills too,
Yeah.
because you know and you are able to work with 20, 30 families, and they are different in so many ways. Like one of them might want to reach out to you at noon, or the other one at midnight. And the fact is, the one which I was so at midnight, it's not because that person wanted to do it, because maybe that person left work at midnight and there's something happening at school, he or she came home and just found a homework. And that person gonna go to work at 6 or at 7 in the morning. And sometimes like my wife used to say, "You are available every time." I said, "Yeah, sometimes you gotta be available because you know the situation, you are in the culture. You know sometimes when they reach out to you so late at night, not because they want to, but because they arrive home, they found a homework and they can't understand a part of it and they would like to have extra help so help with the student because sometimes they don't see the children like maybe for 1 day, for 2 days. That's the situation in the community. We know that.
Is
And if I am in this, at this position, so I should be helpful because I know the community. I know what's happening. I know sometimes because it's not they want so not I don't say not getting involved, but they want to be outside of the daily life or daily school of the children. But because of the situation, they've been working a lot. So, and
Is
yeah.
there a shortage? Is there a shortage of Haitian language interventionists? And if so, what can be done about that?
And I don't want to say a shortage because I think there's an increasing numbers because actually, you know, not because they can't find interventionists, but it's not a well-paid job to be honest. That means that one of the reasons, like, because it's not a well-paid job, so many people like don't want to go to a school because that, like, for my school there is no, it's like the money that you get is the money that you get. There's no extra money, no extra times, and so many times we'd like to have more money to take care of family or stuff. That's the reason I think so many people like avoid being an interventionist or Haitian interventionist because of the money situation, because it's not a well-paid job. I think that's the first thing. But also there's an increasing numbers actually with the Haitian interventionists, like, and I can't figure out like the numbers actually, but I have so many friends that are working and with middle, high school student, elementary. Like this summer, I think I referred three people, and I think they were accepted to different schools, not to my school, so different schools. Because like when people like find out that you are being a Haitian interventionist, they reach out to you to say, do you have someone else that maybe you can refer to? And I referred three people, and they were accepted. Like to say that there is an increasing number, and I am kind of doing a little advocacy job too. So let them, some friends know, you can try this job. It's very good. You're gonna be okay, successful with it. But sometimes it's about the money too. The the check. The check.
Well, despite that, you are very passionate about this, so keep up the amazing work. You're providing a resource that is very needed and it is appreciated. Thank you for joining us here at the Creole Narratives Podcast.
Thank you, Fadia. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed the time, and you're amazing, a wonderful job, and I was happy to share what I'm doing, what I understood. I know like it's an increasing narrative about the Haitian community here because the perceptions is not 100% good, but I think by communicating about what we are doing sometimes, that's the best way to response to what is saying about the community. You don't want to, like, there's a if you want to sometimes to fight kind of and misinformation, and you don't need to attack what is being said, but sometimes you need to act in the other way, like kind of education, and that be a good thing. So I don't know, to talk about the community, and they will find other ways to talk about the community. Like, and one last thing, last in June, Miro Andy, which is a local based media, kind of did a cover with me, a story with me, and someone from the community said this is the first time local media published something about someone in the community doing such a thing, because usually it was kind of talking about Haiti and grab maybe like a quote from someone, but now it was about me, about what I'm doing, and they did two stories about it. It was really good. I was talking about what I'm doing at school. They went to Promise Prep, the school, to take and pictures, like they do a little video, and it's really amazing. I think sometimes the best way to to change the narratives, the perceptions of the Haitian community here, is to promote what we are doing, what good we are doing, and this is why I think this platform is, and it's a very beneficial for me because I'm able to talk about what I'm doing, but also the community here. Thank you
Right.
very much. I know I talk a
And that's
lot.
for sure, but we get to showcase all the positives you're doing in Indiana, and you've only been here for a short time. But to see the impact and how many people, American and Haitian, and from all over the world, that you're benefiting, that's amazing, and it is so appreciated. And thank you so much for taking the time to share your story, Webster, on our podcast, The Creole Narratives. It's so appreciated.
Thank you very much.
I'm your host, Fadia Patterson, and thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Creole Narratives Podcast. For more episodes, please follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and wherever podcasts are available. Again, thank you for joining us in Amplifying IET.